Hey, Robin Mills coming at you. I want to do a movie review. It's my first time ever doing a movie review on video. I've talked about movies before, but never like recording myself. But I'm not a part of the movie. I'm just someone who went to see the movie, and I want to give my opinion of the movie. A Birth of a Nation. Completely overrated. Completely. I'm not even. I didn't say underrated. I said overrated. Um, the only thing that was different about this movie than other movies that I've seen during that era is the fact that this movie shined a brighter light on the black woman's perspective in terms of how we felt. There were some moving scenes there. You know, my eyes stung a little bit. Um, I like that the women were hard. They encouraged their men to rise up and fight. Nobody was like, "Baby, don't leave me, stay with me. What's wrong? Just stay with us. We just don't do that. You're gonna ruin our family." Well, none of that bullshit. They all recognized that part of war is death. So everybody was down. So I like that part. Um, they showed, the African slaves straight going up in there chopping people's heads off. Well, they didn't show the head getting chopped off, but you could see he was holding the head. Um, you could tell they stood up, they got up off their knees. Um, and that's all. It's beautiful. I like everything that I just said. This is the part that I don't like. So, the star of the movie. I'm gonna just simplify it. So I'm gonna tell a story like people we don't know. So, dude was born. He grows up. He's got these little spots on his stomach. They take him to like the voodoo priest. Dude tells him that he's a prophet basically. Everybody should listen to him. So he's very young at this time. So he spends his entire life being told that he's a prophet. So no doubt he turns into a preacher, pastor, whatever you want to call it, someone who preaches the gospel. Apparently, he was only taught how to read certain pages in the Bible. So those few pages that he was allowed to read, he knew those like really well. So he's very articulate for an African slave. So basically, they decide to pimp him. His owner starts taking him to all the other plantations to talk to the rebellious slaves to basically get them in place. We need to. He made good money. The white dude made good money because he could go in there and talk to the African slaves and kind of calm them down, I guess. Well, long story short, the dude who was a pastor, a preacher, whatever you want to call him, he ended up falling in love with this lady. And this lady had been, it was real sad how she came into the movie because she was like wounded like a wild animal. But she found herself again, or as much of herself as she could. And basically, they fell in love. And he brought her flowers from the field and rode up in the middle of the night on a horse, which I thought was really unrealistic because if you can't get no day pass, what the hell you doing? Look, what you riding around at night for? Like acting like you all chivalrous and shit. I've got some flowers for you. I love you. I should just hold her in his arms. I'm like, come on. You can do that, but during the day you cower down. It just didn't look right. So I thought that was bogus. Um, so apparently she gets gang raped. They fuck her up. Her head's all fucked up. She looks like the elephant woman. She's all purple and shit. Real sad. But he's still a slave basically, so he can only do so much. But all of a sudden he decides, well, let me read the rest of the book now that I know how to read. So he read the rest of the Bible when he realized that for everything that told him to be meek, one told him to kick ass. So he decided to adopt a kick ass version of the Bible. And he got some people to come along with him, and they basically ran around and kicked ass and had white folks scared, and basically, became a problem, you know. And then, of course, a little young black boy from another plantation who looked like he had like spit dried all around his mouth. Interesting looking little boy. But he sold him out. So at the end of the movie, they all got kind of ambushed and killed. And he ended up calling the woman that he loved, and she was telling him how niggas was just getting killed every day, and they said the killing wasn't gonna stop until he turned himself in. So he's all noble and shit. So here he come walking into town. Oh, there he goes right there, and they all grab him, and they take him to the little plank, whatever you call it. Put the noose around his neck. They ask him if he has anything to say. He's like, I'm ready. And he's looking into the eyes of the little boy who sold him out, and the little boy got tears coming all out of his eyes, mouth still just as dry with spit and shit. So dang, and then it just drops, and it was different because usually they just drop the thing and the body falls and it jerks. No, no, not this time. They raised that ass up. They just let him hang. And he hung and it just had him about the neck. And he's looking all up in the air. And in the air, and guess what he sees, y'all? Guess what he sees? An angel. Would look like a straight up Revlon perm and something sticking on top of her head because her hair's slick and shit. But I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it. I said, okay. So he dies. And then they said they cut his skin up and sent him all over the place. Long story short, they just defiled his body. So people say, Robin, what was the moral of the story, or what was the main idea? Well, to me, the main idea was that they try and tell us that if we all come together collectively and believe wholeheartedly in God and read his words, we will all rise up and rebel. Those are the same words that have always been there. And now all of a sudden people want to act like they see them. Fuck y'all been reading. The whole book has been in your house this whole damn time. Now all of a sudden you see a part that's making you stand up. I'm glad you noticed it. But in my opinion, they need to write a movie about those people over there in Haiti. You know, they need to write a movie about somebody who rebelled and didn't have to give credit to their white savior. But no, I was unimpressed with the movie. The person who I went there with, he said, but Robin, don't you think this story needed to be told? Don't you think we need to remember? I'm like, well, I never forgot. So if you're one of those people who never forgot how our people got done and how we continue to get done, this movie is not for you because it's not going to do anything to add anything to your arsenal of knowledge. I didn't gain a drop of knowledge from it. Um, and if you're one of those people who hasn't thought about how it was for our people and is for our people, then this might be the movie for you because it might open your eyes. So I guess it can serve some purpose, but in my opinion, it's just some more propaganda, and they're promoting Christianity. And I ain't gonna knock you for being a Christian or whatever you are, but I'm not a religious person by any stretch, and I'm unimpressed by people who call themselves religious because you can teach a dog to do tricks. Any fool can read a book and follow directions. It's like reading a damn recipe on a box and whatnot. Why don't you believe what you believe because you believe it instead of what somebody told you? You know? Why don't you stop and think that if all the answers have always been in that book, why all of a sudden are they telling you to read the book different? Could it not be that this is a part of a divide that is being created to further divide us as a people? Because now all of a sudden they want the Christians to understand that maybe you've been tricked. And those who come with it, I've been tricked. Now all of a sudden they traded. So now you got black people killing black people, cops killing black people. You got Christians against Christians. You got, man, it's much divide within the black community and whatnot. And the timing is not a coincidence. This shit ain't never not been. It's just out there now. Rita, think. So save your money and wait for it to come out. And you can just maybe get it from the pawn shop and get it for like 99 cents. Hate it for you. I know our people created it, but I'm not going to give it hype. I'm not going to put no ad to it. I'm not going to raise it up. Unimpressed. Not a thumbs down. Unimpressed. Wouldn't purchase it. Only reason why I purchased that movie is because that little funny looking boy with all that spit around his mouth, man, he morphed at the end of the movie. They morphed him into like a grown man. And I'm like, this is the blackest, strongest looking man I've ever seen. You could just take his picture and have my daughter paint it and hang it because he morphed into a fine Mandingo warrior. So that was a bless. Really think.